Good morning, all of you. Today I am in the college, and since last week we are learning topic of philosophical background of game repertory. And in this philosophical background of game repertory, we have studied various topics like what was the background in the homeopathy when Dr. Kane entered the field of repertory. Then we also seen what are the various principles behind the philosophy of Kent repertory, and how on the basis of these three important principles Dr. Kane has proposed his solid philosophical background of Kent repertory. And in that we have seen there are mainly five important philosophical background. Prime importance to mental general, second importance to physical general, characteristic particular for differentiation. So we have covered these three important philosophical background of Kant's repertory. And yesterday I have also introduced about this concept of limited generalization. So today we will again continue for this limited generalization. Now, I have also told you yesterday that this topic, limited generalization, is very important for understanding the philosophy of Kant's repertory. Because till the time Dr. Kant has entered into the field of repertory, the philosophy which was followed was mainly Bonnie-Wilson's philosophy, and in that Bonnie-Wilson's philosophy, the important concept is grand generalization. And in the downfall of Bonnie-Wilson's philosophy, various homeopathic stalwarts, various homeopathic physicians have started asking questions against this grand generalization, and they were also criticizing this philosophy of grand generalization. And whenever we will have to understand this limited generalization, obviously it will be always compared with grand generalization. Then for the newcomer, this will be very much difficult, especially to those who have attended the less number of lectures in the third year. Now, if we see historically, Dr. Bonnie-Wilson has published Bonnie-Wilson Therapeutic Pocketbook around the year 1846, and when Dr. Kent entered in the field of repertory, it was around 1985. So there is a gap of near about 40 years, gap of 40 years. So there is a lot of difference in between this 40 years. मराठीत म्हणतात ना की हा बोला
सर रश्मी पाटील डिस्कनेक्ट झाली सर तिला इन करा ना
मला हे दिसली तर करतो इन आणि ऍड रिक्वेस्ट मी करतो सो इन दिस गॅप ऑफ 40 years in मराठी असं म्हणतात की पुलाखालून बरेच पाणी गेले म्हणजे देर आर लॉट मेनी चेंजेस in this 40 years, and this 40 years were very much important for evolution of repertory, because this within this 40 years the two important schools of repertory were established. One school is Bonnie-Wilson's philosophy, and the important concept was grand generalization, and another school is Kantian school of philosophy, and among that Kantian school of philosophy, the important one is a limited generalization. So let us first understand what was the scenario in front of Dr. Boning Hussain when he has introduced this grand generalization. So in front of Boning Hussain, that was a very early period of development of repertories. So at that time, repertory was almost new to various homeopathic physicians, and the mechanism of evolution, the mechanism of construction of repertory was also new. So it was not perfectly developed. Every physician were slowly understanding the importance of repertory, slowly understanding the evolution of repertory. And in that early phase of repertory, Dr. Boning Hussain had felt one important drawback of homeopathic materia medica. And that drawback of homeopathic materia medica, which was observed by Dr. Boning Hussain, was that so while studying homeopathic materia medica, before converting into repertory, Boning Hussain has studied homeopathic materia medica and he has suggested a format for understanding the symptom. And according to him, every symptom should be completed with respect to four important aspects. And unless this symptom is complete with respect to this four aspect, there is no value to this symptom which is present in the homeopathic materia medica. And accordingly, he has said that there are four important aspects, four important components of each and every symptom. The first important component is location. Then second one is sensation. Third one is modality. And fourth one is accompanying symptoms. And while constructing repertory, Dr. Boning Hussain has identified that there are so many symptoms of our materia medica. They are either lacking in location, either lacking in sensation, either lacking in modality, or either lacking in the concomitant symptom. And it was the idea of Boning Hussain to evolve, to construct repertory on the basis of this concept of location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. So I will again repeat the evolution of Boning Hussain's philosophy. First, Boning Hussain has studied materia medica and said that every symptom must be having four important components, that is location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. And then he has also proposed one idea that whenever a repertory will be constructed, it will be based upon these four important components of symptom, that is location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. So after giving these two ideas, after giving these two concepts, Boning Hussain started compiling the repertory. And when he started compiling the repertory, he faced certain problems while evolution of repertory. And the problem is, he has said he has made a framework for the evolution of repertory. Just a minute. So he developed this concept for developing the repertory, that is location, sensation, modalities, concomitant should be complete. But he faced one problem, that most of the time the materia medica is incomplete. Either the symptoms are lacking in the location, either they are lacking in the sensation, either they are lacking in the modality. And then he stuck up at the one point where he could not develop his repertory according to his own idea of location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. And then he found a solution for this. And he gave the solution that in the Boning, in the Hahnemann's philosophy, there is nothing like part and there is nothing like whole. And he found out from the Hahnemannian philosophy that what is true for part is true for whole. What does it mean? It means a sensation, a modality which is only restricted up to a particular symptom. It can be also safely applied to the whole body, and repertory will be further considered. For example, now for those who have joined late, I'm just for the understanding of new students, I'm just focusing on what is grand generalization, because unless you understand the grand generalization, it is very difficult to understand limited generalization that I have understood yesterday. So I'm just explaining first what is grand generalization. Then in this grand generalization, Boni Hussein initially felt that he will make a repertory on these four important aspects. He looked for these four aspects in the Materia Medica. He found that, oh, the Materia Medica is incomplete with respect to these four aspects. And further, with his further study of Hahnemannian philosophy, he come up with a solution that what is true for part is true for whole. That means by following this logic, if there are two incomplete symptoms, so for example, two incomplete symptoms, burning in the eye is a one symptom, but it is an incomplete symptom. Then there is only pain in the knee joint, so it is also incomplete symptom. And then there is a third symptom, pain in the abdomen, which is better by pressure. So remember these three symptoms: burning in the eye, pain in the knee joint, and pain in the abdomen better by pressure. These are three different particular symptoms. These are three incomplete particular symptoms. Now what Dr. Boni Hussein proposed, now this burning sensation which is present in one particular symptom and which is absent in another particular symptom, he said that there are more chances that the knee joint sensation will be also applicable because there is a burning sensation in the eyes. So accordingly, he has completed that knee joint pain by adding one sensation, by proposing one sensation that it will be also burning sensation in the knee joint. So he has completed one symptom from another symptom. Then, so now he has got two components for these two symptoms: burning pain in the eye, burning pain in the knee joint. Then he found what is the third symptom in that specific remedy, that pain in the abdomen is better by pressure. So what he has done, he has again combined this pressure and applied this pressure to each and every symptom. So the now symptom, these three incomplete symptoms is completed by the process of generalization by Boni Hussein. And after this process of generalization, these three symptoms became burning in the eye, better by pressure; burning in the knee joint, better by pressure; burning in the abdomen, better by pressure. So this is how Boni Hussein has completed the incomplete symptom by applying this process of grand generalization, and further he has constructed this whole Boni Hussein therapeutic pocketbook on this philosophy of grand generalization. Have you understood this grand generalization? If you have understood, then I will go further. Anybody please respond from new batch. Have you understood this grand generalization? Or if you have any query, let me know. Very less number of participants are today present for this lecture. राहुल खराडे, कळलं का तुला? What is grand generalization?
हो सर.
नक्की. भाग्यश्री घरात.
येस सर.
भाग्यश्री भाग्यश्रीला कळलं का what is grand generalization? भाग्यश्री, what is grand generalization? थोडीशी आयडिया आली का?
हो सर.
आली. ठीक है. Then we'll move to the limited generalization. So once you understand this grand generalization clearly, so in this grand generalization there is one basic principle, that is what is true for part is true for whole, and the practical meaning of this sentence is that the sensation and modality, location and concomitant which is present in a single particular symptom, it can be applicable to the whole body. I'm again repeating, the Boningusen's concept was that he has taken this concept from Hahnemannian philosophy. What is true for part is true for whole, and practically how he has applied this philosophy by applying the location, sensation, modality, and concomitant of one part to another part, and finally in this process he has applied the sensation and modality, location and concomitant of one part to the whole body. So in this way he has completed the whole materia medica, or he has completed the incomplete materia medica with this concept of grand generalization, and then he has constructed a repertory, and further he has given advice that the same procedure should also be followed while giving similimum or while giving medicine to the patient. What he observed, the same thing is also seen in the patient. Patients also give incomplete symptoms with respect to location, sensation, modality, and concomitant. So unless you complete this incompleteness with the help of grand generalization, you cannot repertorize your case with the help of Boningusen therapeutic pocketbook. And then he has advised the use of grand generalization also while selecting the medicine. And that was very popular concept till the year 1880. So in the initial 35 years it was accepted by everybody, but after 1880 there was criticism, and this criticism was that there was unnecessary mixing of sensation and modality of part with that of whole. And after 1885, Dr. Kane also entered into this criticism of grand generalization, and he was the person who was not only criticized this grand generalization, but he has, with his own study of materia medica, he has given a solution. So just criticizing is different, and just criticizing and giving solution is different, and it is a legacy, or it is the superiority of Dr. Kane, who has identified the drawback of Boningusen's philosophy, and he has given the solution to that drawback of Boningusen's grand generalization, and then the solution is nothing but the limited generalization. So initially there was a Boningusen's philosophy. Initially there was a use of grand generalization. Slowly it becomes criticized by a lot many physicians. Dr. Kent was also one of the criticizers of grand generalization. But Dr. Kent gave one solution, and that solution is limited generalization. And now we will study what is limited generalization. So in the grand generalization, the basic concept is what is true for part is true for whole, and the sentence goes one step ahead, and it also says that if you study a particular symptoms of a remedy and general symptoms of a remedy, the particulars will automatically follow the general symptoms. That means if there is a general modality aggravation by cold, the particular modality will be also aggravation by cold. So that is one postulation of grand generalization, that particulars usually always fall in the line of general. That means they usually do not contradict. जैसे कि हम 15 अगस्त को 26 जनवरी को एक लाइन बनाते हैं, तो एक जन आगे खड़े रहता है, उसके पीछे दूसरा खड़े रहता है, उसके पीछे तीसरा खड़े रहता है, उसके पीछे चौथा खड़े रहता है, और फिर देन देयर इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन ऑफ एवरी स्टूडेंट. सेम थिंग व्हाट बोनिंग हैज ऑब्जर्व. फर्स्ट देयर इज अ जनरल, और उसी जनरल को बाकी के पर्टिकुलर सिम्टम्स भी फॉलो करते हैं, एंड देन देयर इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन ऑफ ऑल दीज थिंग्स. But what Dr. Kent said, that this particulars do not always in the line of general, and for this he has shown his study of homeopathic materia medica. We also know that Dr. Kent was a professor of homeopathic materia medica. He has taught, he has studied materia medica, and he has shown with examples that it always do not happen. The particular modality the particular symptoms do not always fall in the line of general. And then he has given main two examples. He has given so many examples, but arsenic and phosphorus I have explained yesterday. And there is one more example of bryonia. The bryonia, the general modality is amelioration by pressure. But if we observe, so according to Dr. Boning-Hussain, if amelioration by pressure is a general modality of bryonia, that modality should be applicable to each and every particular symptom. But Dr. Kane said that no, it do not happen always, because there are certain symptoms of bryonia where this pressure do not give amelioration, pressure gives aggravation. One more example is, we all know when everybody sepia, the general modality is dancing amelioration. So dancing amelioration gives amelioration to the respiratory symptom, and it is also applicable to few more symptoms. So dancing or the rapid motion amelioration becomes a general modality of sepia. But there are few important symptoms of sepia which are not better by rapid motion or which are not better by dancing, but they are aggravated by dancing. So I think these examples are clear. And so after giving this example, Dr. Kane says that okay, generalization is good, it is good, but one have to take one precaution while generalizing modality and sensation of particular part and applying to the whole body. And what is that caution? What is that safe advice given by Dr. Kent? Dr. Kent given that safe advice that you can convert a particular sensation, a particular modality, particular location, particular concomitant into general modality when this is very important.
Sir,
बोला
तुम्ही आम्हाला
सर लेक्चर फक्त ज्युनियरचं चालू आहे की सिनियर बॅचचं पण आहे?
हे दोन्ही बॅच चालू आहे.
लिंक नाही पाठवली सर ग्रुप वरती, आम्ही असंच बसलेलो, लेक्चर नाहीये म्हणून. मग तुम्ही लिंक नाही पाठवली आमच्या सिनियरच्या ग्रुप वरती? असं नाही सर, आम्ही तर ते चुकून कालच्या लिंक वरती क्लिक केलं.
बर ठीक आहे, चूक झाली माझ्याकडून, सुधारून घेऊया. बर बाकीच्यांशी कम्युनिकेट करायचं. आज मला वाटतं राहिली माझ्याकडून जरा कॉलेजच्या काही गडबडीमध्ये.
हा इट्स ओके सर, काय नाही, जाऊन द्या.
काय नाही, अटेंडन्स लावतो.
मला वाटलं लेक्चरच नाहीये.
सांगितलं का सगळ्यांना मग?
हो सांगतो ग्रुप मध्ये.
हो सांगितलं सर मग मी.
ठीक आहे थँक्यू. करू कंटिन्यू लेक्चर?
येस.
तेच म्हटलं आज एवढं पार्टिसिपेंट्स कसे कमी होईल. ठीक आहे. So Dr. Kent was of the opinion that there should be one precaution, and that precaution is a particular sensation, particular modality should be converted to general modality only.
Oh.
This only Vardha Lade is only important when it is present in minimum 2 parts, or when it is present in more than 2 different parts. So what Kent suggested the solution, or Dr. Kent given the solution, that the particulars should be converted into generals only if they follow one condition, and that condition is that if it is present in 2 parts or more than 2 parts, then only you can convert safely the particular sensation, particular modality to general sensation and general modality. And accordingly, Dr. Kent has further explained this limited generalization, and he has followed this concept of limited generalization while compiling his repertoire. And this is the difference between the Bonimussen's philosophy and Kant's philosophy. Kant's philosophy of repertoire. Any difficulty? Let me know the difficulties